Have you ever looked at someone who seemed completely unshakable? Someone who could walk through a storm of criticism, betrayal, and loss without losing their center? You've probably wished to be that person. You've probably spent years building walls, perfecting your "I don't care" face, and convincing the world that you are fine, while inside you are bleeding from wounds no one else can see. But here is the brutal truth that most people are too afraid to tell you. Your armor is actually your prison. Every time you try to shield yourself, you aren't becoming stronger, you're becoming more fragile. Carl Jung, the father of analytical psychology, understood something that modern self-help often ignores. He knew that the things that hurt us aren't actually out there, they are inside us. If you're tired of being an emotional hostage to the opinions of others, if you're exhausted from playing a character of strength or feeling like you're crumbling, this is for you. Today, we aren't talking about how to toughen up. We are talking about how to become so integrated, so aware, and so whole that the world literally loses the power to wound you. As Jung famously said, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." If you're ready to stop surviving and start becoming, let's begin. Part 2. The Echo in the Void. You think the pain comes from the person who betrayed you. You think it comes from the boss who fired you or the partner who walked away. But look closer. If you have a physical wound on your arm and someone touches it, it hurts. If your skin is healthy and whole, that same touch is nothing. The pain you feel is not the touch. It is the evidence of an existing wound. What hurts you is not what people do. It is the story you tell yourself about what they did. It is the way their actions echo in the empty spaces of your own soul. When someone rejects you, it only hurts because a part of you already rejects yourself. When someone calls you a failure, it only stings because you haven't yet forgiven yourself for your own mistakes. Jung taught us that the external world is a mirror. If you find yourself constantly victimized by the world, it's because you are carrying a victim archetype in your unconscious. You are still trying to control the uncontrollable, how others treat you, as a way to avoid the one thing you can actually influence, how you treat yourself. The moment you realize that your triggers are actually your teachers is the moment you start to become untouchable. You stop asking, "Why did they do this to me?" and start asking, "What is this revealing in me that still needs to be healed?" Part 3. The Tyranny of the Unconscious. Most people live their entire lives as puppets. They think they are making choices, but they are actually just reacting to strings pulled by their unconscious mind. Until you make the unconscious conscious, Jung warned, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Why do you keep attracting the same toxic people? Why do you sabotage your success just when things are getting good? Why does a single comment from a stranger ruin your entire week? It's not bad luck or fate. It is your unconscious manifesting your deepest fears and repressed shadows so that you are forced to look at them. We spend our lives pushing our shame, our anger, and our unacceptable desires into a dark corner of our minds. We call this the shadow. But the shadow doesn't stay hidden. It leaks out. It turns into anxiety, into sudden outbursts of rage, or into a crushing sense of inadequacy. To be untouchable, you must enter that dark room. You must stop running from the parts of yourself that you find ugly. You cannot be hurt by a secret that you've already brought into the light. When you own your darkness, no one can use it against you. When you accept your flaws, no one can use them to shame you. This is the first step to true psychological freedom. Part 4. The Path of Individuation. There is a difference between being perfect and being whole. Most people strive for perfection, which is why they are so easily hurt. Perfection is a mask. Wholeness is a reality. Jung called the journey to wholeness individuation. It is the process of stripping away the masks we wear to please society, the persona, and discovering the true self at the center. Think about the persona for a moment. It's the good employee, the perfect parent, the strong friend. We invest so much energy into maintaining these masks that we become terrified of them slipping. When someone criticizes your mask, you feel like your life is ending. Individuation is the act of tearing that mask off. It is the courage to say, I am more than what you see. I am a complex, messy, beautiful, and terrifying mix of light and shadow. When you begin this process, you will feel lonely. You will notice that you no longer fit into the shallow conversations and social games that others play. But this loneliness is not a punishment. It is a graduation. You are trading the approval of the many for the integrity of the one. An untouchable person doesn't need to be liked by everyone because they have finally reached a point where they like themselves. They don't need to win every argument because their value isn't tied to being right. They have found their center, and that center is not for sale. Part 5. Welcoming the Lady in Black. We have been conditioned to see suffering as an enemy. We medicate it, we distract ourselves from it, and we run from it. But Jung had a different view. He described depression and pain as a lady in black who knocks at your door. He said, don't push her away. Invite her in. Give her a chair. Listen to what she has to say. If you are hurting right now, that pain is a message. It is your soul's way of telling you that the current version of your life is too small for you. It's telling you that your current beliefs are no longer serving you. Suffering is the friction between who you are and who you are meant to be. To be untouchable means you no longer fear pain. You understand that pain is the fire that burns away the dross, leaving only what is true. When you stop resisting the suffering, it loses its sting. It becomes a process of transformation rather than a process of destruction. You become like the deep ocean. On the surface, there may be storms and waves, but a few hundred feet down, there is absolute stillness and power. Most people live on the surface, tossed around by every wind of opinion. The untouchable person lives in the depths. Part 6. Awareness as the ultimate shield. As we reach the end of this journey, ask yourself, what is left of fear when you are no longer hiding from yourself? Rejection? You've already accepted yourself. Betrayal? You know that your worth isn't tied to the loyalty of others. Failure? You see it as a necessary step in your individuation. True emotional immunity isn't a wall. It's a state of high-level awareness. It's the ability to observe your emotions without being consumed by them. It's the gap between the trigger and the reaction. In that gap lies your freedom. The world will continue to be chaotic. People will continue to be unkind, unpredictable, and sometimes cruel. You cannot change the world, but you can change the you that experiences the world. Stop trying to be strong. Start trying to be conscious. Stop trying to be invulnerable. Start trying to be whole. If this message resonated with you, if you felt a stir in your unconscious, don't let this be just another video you watch and forget. This is a call to action. Leave a comment below saying, I choose awareness. Let's create a community of people who are brave enough to look within. The journey to becoming untouchable doesn't end here. It's a daily practice of integration and honesty. Check out our next video to continue this deep dive into the mysteries of the mind. Remember, the only way out is through. See you in the depths.